need to know. Let's do it. What you need to know right now.
What you need to know is brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times. Less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. Take it away, Linz, before we get Boog on the line. Or she's on the phone. All right, she's on the phone. What you need to know is the Dodgers are awesome. They got a parade for us. It's all good. L.A. was loving life. And the man who called...
Yeah, what you need to know is that I'm not allowed to call him Mr. Sciambi anymore.
Why would you call him Mr. Sciambi?
Because I say everybody when I text them and, we don't know each other, I'll say, like Mr. Kirkjian. Yes, I always do that.
Well, that's very respectful.
That's
very nice.
It's a polite thing to do until,
nice.
you know them.
That's that Midwestern charm of yours.
Very nice. That's very nice, Lindsay.
But he said, you're killing me with that. I said, okay, I get it, because... people. I don't like when people call me ma'am. It makes me feel old.
He prefers the boogly boogler.
And really, no, he hates that one for sure. Yeah. But he definitely, I could just hear him being like, "You're killing me with that one, all right?"
Yes,
let's
that's
just not
exactly
do
what
that.
he said.
Yeah.
Like Tim Kirkjian. I still call him Mr. Kirkjian. He's never
Mr.
told me not to.
Kirkjian, though,
a little much.
Yeah, no. Boog, should you call him Mr. Kirkjian? Like Lindsay doesn't know him. Like, he is a Mr.
Right.
Kirkjian. The man's in his 60s, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he's always been Tim to me, but I get that. That's what I said to her. I said, I feel like I'm 1,000 years old.
You are.
Dropping Mr.
You are
Sciambi
now.
on me.
You're not young anymore.
No, you're not. You're a young guy.
No.
You're a young guy. 28 years old.
I sneezed last year and threw up my back. We're old now.
No, that's you. You're old.
Yeah.
You're old. Me and Boog are not old.
Yeah. The back throwing out sneeze. I feel that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That'll put you on the disabled list, man.
I mean,
that's exactly right.
Yeah, honestly, that's what Aaron Judge should have said as to why he dropped that ball in center field. He had the back sneeze or something. All right, let's start with the good stuff. All right, with the Dodgers. I mean, you've been around this game a long time. Okay, this team.
I'm old.
Yeah, you are old. Yes,
you're a young guy.
Sciambi.
First year around
Sciambi,
baseball.
yes.
First year around the game.
So this team. I mean, the pitching staff was in shambles. The rotation was in shambles all season. I mean, Yamamoto, 2 weeks before the end of the season, was we were wondering if he was even going to be part of the rotation. Have you ever seen, a rotation be in such shambles and that team go on to win anything?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, one of the things, the stats that I kept breaking out is they did not have a pitcher on their postseason roster that threw as many as 100 innings for the Dodgers during the regular season, which is incredible. Not even 100 innings for the Dodgers during the regular season. It's just wild. But look, I think in the end, they cobbled together enough depth. I would say what they were able to do is pretty rare. I think it also speaks to, there are pieces to this team that were probably underappreciated, and that is an excellent base running team by most metrics, the best base running team in baseball. It was a decent defensive team, above average. I don't think it was spectacular. They've certainly had better defensive teams. And it was a pretty ferocious offensive team, and not just talking about the top three guys. They had a pretty unbelievable offensive team. Here's part of what my take on how they were able to do this would be, and this is hard because, George, you and I have had this conversation a bunch of times, but look, this is the best run organization in baseball, and they made the playoffs for 12 straight years. Andrew Friedman took over in 2014, in October 2014, and I think that there's an element of what happened here. This isn't one of their best teams, in my opinion.
No.
And they've had better teams that didn't win. So I think that to some extent, I think this is a credit back towards some of those teams that just lost because they lost. I had arguments over the years with scouts with the Dodgers who were constantly picking apart their team. And it's hard for people to understand that sometimes you lose, and it is not because your team is flawed. Sometimes you lose because you lost.
But Boog,
and people have a hard time digesting that.
Yeah. But Boog, to push back a little bit, when you talk about not the best team, they may not have been the best collection of individuals put together, but from a team perspective, it seemed like this group this year seem to, and I know this is going to sound hokey, really play for each other. And here's what I mean by that.
Oh, wait, hold on. Boog, you're going to love this.
Yeah.
Cappy loves, quote unquote, heart and soul guys.
That's right. I'm a heart and soul guy.
Go have
That's
fun
right.
with him, Mr.
Right.
Sciambi.
I'm a heart and soul guy, Boog. But Boog, when I say it, here's what I mean. yes, Freddie Freeman had this massive World Series, but Ohtani wasn't as great as everybody would have expected. But you had guys like Tommy Edman, for example, step up huge during the postseason. And you had guys like Kike Hernandez step up huge. So to me, it was a great all-around team effort.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. But, if you look at during the course of their playoff run, like, Scott, they've had Kike Hernandez on the team most of the time, with the exception of 2 of the years that he was in Boston. Tommy Edman, whereas I would love him on my team, there's positional versatility. Shortstop's not his spot, man, and he banged up some plays, and if they had led to significant runs, people would have been like, man, we need a better shortstop. But he is a beast from the right side. And I think you might be missing it a little bit. Like, they had better teams. In the end, I still think that they were a really good team. I'm saying in terms of the teams that you've watched over the course of the last, 10 years that they've had better teams. This would not be, one of their 2 best teams.
They ran into random stuff, right? Like, that's just sometimes because in a short series, that's what happens, right?
Yes.
It's just baseball, that's baseball.
Yes.
Well, listen, when you say better teams, I don't want to get caught up in it. I think you're right that obviously when you look at the pitching staff, for example, they would have had a much better pitching staff over the last couple of years because, again, going into this postseason, who knew what their starting rotation was going to be, which then just leads me to this. I would love to hear your comment about Walker Buehler and the way this whole thing got closed out.
Wild.
Because for him to have pitched 2 days earlier and then to come in and close the way he did, it was so spectacular. What did you think?
Yeah, the drama of it was amazing. And it played out in a really non-planned type of way. Like, Walker texted Dave and said, I'll be ready for you. And I don't think going into the night that was anywhere near the plan because they didn't think they were going to get an inning and a third from Jack Flaherty. But Walker was ready for it. And, I think – I don't even know when Walker said, I'll be ready, how much true intention there was, and when Dave said sounds great, on his end. But I think that as it got closer and closer to the end of it, they realized that they were going to need it. I mean, I was broadcasting the game, and they're bringing Gratterall in 6, and I'm sitting there like trying to figure out how are they going to get 27 outs here. Like, I couldn't figure out how they were going to actually do it. I couldn't even believe that Hudson got up. So, how they were able to put it together was incredible. And, Scotty, don't misunderstand what I'm saying. Like, this was a really good team. I'm just saying they've made better teams. They've had teams that if we started at the beginning that I would have bet on as having a better chance to win the World Series. They had a team that won 106 games. Look, do it this way. Right? Like, just to they won 98 games this year, Scott. In the history of baseball, there have been 2 teams that have had 4-year stretches with this amount of wins, and one was the 1906 to 1909 Cubs, and then the second most wins over any 4-year stretch is the end of this Dodger group. So, it's been pretty amazing what they've been able to put together. They just haven't won as much as we thought they'd win because there's a lot around playoffs. And, the team in 21 had to work so hard to finish second. They won 106 games, and then they just ran out of gas against a Braves team that was in no way, shape, or form better than that.
Well, and how about the 22 team that won 111 games and then just ran into a buzzsaw in the first round? You know what I mean?
And the 06 to 09 Cubs, George, don't forget about those teams because let me tell you something. Boog, you mentioned them like as if I didn't know them.
He knew that off the top of his dome.
But I actually didn't. Yeah. I had no idea. I'm just wanting to say I had zero idea about the 06 to 09
But it's wild, though. Think
Cubs.
about it, though. In 4-year take a team's any team's best 4-year stretches in the history of the sport, it's the second best in terms of win total, 415 wins. And here they are. And this is the team that won over this stretch was a team that won 98 games. So it's wild how these things play out.
John Boog Sciambi, Mr. Sciambi, who called the World
Mr.
Series,
Mr. Sciambi,
ESPN
young man.
Radio. What do they need? I mean, hell, the hot stove is in a month. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you think they need?
I mean, again, I think they need Glasnow to be healthy, Yamamoto to be healthy, just getting them through to the place where they can pitch in the playoffs, because having to do it the way they did it is really hard. I would also tell you this.
So they need more arms,
guys,
for sure, is what you're saying.
Yeah, you need. I mean, look, they sustained more injuries than any team in baseball this year. So they lost more games to the IL than any team in the sport. And the only team that lost more games with a higher projected wins above replacement are the Braves, and that's simply because they lost Acuna and Strider, right? I mean, they lost two massive players. But in terms of total days, yeah, they need to be able to go into the postseason so that – and also let's just say this. I have mad respect for what they did. But, man, in a clinching game, I don't want to watch 8 pitchers pitch. That stinks.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
It's a bad watch, man. And look, if I were running a team and I could win it that way, I would win it that way. I'm just saying for the sport.
Aesthetically,
we need to
right.
get away from that.
Yeah.
It's just terrible. I want to see some of these guys get, 6 innings deep into the game and then work it like that. But this parade of dudes, and again, it's really hard to win a game like that and have 8 guys come in and do the job like that, and everybody has to be perfect, and yet they managed to do it. I think, in the postseason, it worked probably 2 out of every 3 times. So, but it's not a good watch.
Hey, Boog, George asks about what they need. We've kind of gone back and forth, he and I, about Juan Soto.
Right.
I would much rather see the team sign a Teoscar Hernandez, who had a great year. Maybe he's not a long-term thing because of his age.
Right.
Rather than go after a Juan Soto, who I think is going to demand, crazy money.
Yeah.
What do you think? You think the Dodgers are in on the Soto sweepstakes?
Hold on. Let me frame this. When we had this conversation last week, when you fell asleep on us,
right? I did fall asleep on legitimately. Wow. That's true, folks.
But you were tired. It's okay.
He's an old guy.
Mr. Sciambi would fall asleep, right? Boog would not have fallen asleep.
No, get him an Afghan and a rocking chair. He's out.
I mean, so
That's
I was
correct.
saying that Jeff Passan has clearly said that he doesn't believe the Dodgers will be in on Soto. But if you're asking me, Soto versus Hernandez, and I love Teoscar Hernandez as much as the next guy, but Soto is an incredible player. Teoscar's a really good player. Soto is an elite player.
Yeah, Soto, you make the case that he's the best hitter in the game, and if he's not, it's from a hitting standpoint. And I know this, but it's either him or Judge would be my guess. I would say this, that the way you look at it, Scott, and this is the part that's challenging, is they're just swimming in money. You can't analyze. George is right. Look.
Don't say that.
No
Don't
kidding.
say that.
No, but I'm
Do
saying
not
no
say
kidding.
that.
Soto's better than Hernandez. Thanks. You're really coming off the mountain with the tablets there, George. But my point is, it doesn't matter unless that contract inhibits them from doing something they need to do in the future. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it
and
doesn't.
it won't.
So I don't think it will.
Right.
So I don't know. So I mean, what do they need? They'll figure it out. I would say you probably like to add an arm. Do they have to get Juan Soto? Absolutely not. Right. I think they can be more than fine. It's just, where do they want to allocate, resources, that type of thing. But again, the other part that's scary is just all of the stuff they have coming. I mean, you can't kind of forget about the fact that you still got, Glasnow coming back, Dustin May coming, Stone will miss the whole year, but there was a time where everybody really loved Bobby Miller and Emmett Sheehan, and of those guys, some of them are going to probably end up panning out.
Right.
So, man, they're in really, really good. If they get Soto, great. They're not going to lock themselves in and do something stupid where they get handcuffed. They're not going to decide, okay, we have to have this guy, unless they make it $800 million and it's deferred. And I don't think that'll end up being the case, right?
I don't think so. Yeah, I can't see
Yeah, I
anybody
don't think
paying
he's
him
gonna-
more than
I mean, listen,
Ohtani.
Cap makes fun of me because I say that Andrew Friedman might be the smartest guy in sports, and he's always like, he was taking so many swipes at me during the season when it didn't look like they were going anywhere.
No, now
And-
I can't.
and
now,
by the way,
yeah, I'm
did
eating a
you
little
see
crow.
Cappy dressed up as Elton John? Did you see that on social media or no?
No, will you guys text that to me?
Yes, we will, because
Yeah.
it's something you should
Text it
see.
to me.
You should absolutely
So
see it.
basically, we had a bet on the Dodgers-Padres first-round series, and Cappy was feeling himself because he likes to call himself South Cap back then. Like he calls it South LA, right? So I said tomorrow we'll make a bet, and he was going to make me dress up like Fernando Tatis with like the the dreads and the wig and the whole deal.
And the schmata on his head. That's right.
And the schmata. And then I said, well, then you got to dress like Elton John at that Dodgers concert back in like the 70s. And
I like that.
And we did. I ordered it on Amazon and we nailed it. Yeah.
And you won, and I lost, and I paid my bet like a man.
Yeah.
And I will send you the text on this, Boog. I think it's something that you should probably see in your life. I definitely think it's
I like
something.
it. I'm in.
He
You
looked
should
pretty
see it.
good.
You
I
should
got to
have
be
made him
honest.
dress like you should have made him dress like Andrew Friedman.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know what that would look like. I feel like he feels like he dresses kind of regular, like he's like a Banana Republic model or something.
I don't know. I mean, that
Yeah,
Yeah,
like a
that's a
pair of
good
khakis
date.
with like a checkered shirt.
Yeah.
You know?
that's a
Seriously.
good
Like
dated
like
reference,
like
too.
Brooke.
Like, does anybody who's under 30 in the listening audience know what Banana Republic even is?
Or like Brooks Brothers, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
something
Even
like
that's
that.
worse.
Something you'd get at the Delamo
Yeah, that's
Mall
worse.
here in LA. But anyway, Sciambi, you're the best, brother. We love you. Thank you for taking
love
the
you
time.
guys.
Yeah.
I'm
Boog,
sorry
I
that
just
fell
I just
asleep on
texted you, man.
last
I
week.
think if you get it, well, it hasn't gone through yet, but when you get this, if you decide you want to call the show back because you feel like you need to make some commentary on this particular outfit that I'm rocking, you can call the show back if you have to.
Yeah, feel free.
Absolutely. I like it. That you guys are awesome. I like that, being invited back. That's phenomenal.
Well,
Sounds
you know
something
what
you
we
get
should
on every
do,
show.
Cappy? You know what
Yeah, tell me.
I used to have Boog on back in the day, and I used to call him the Boogsman. Like, he would basically settle things for us. So I feel like it's a
Well, wait a
the
second. Hold
public
on.
editor.
Yes.
Well, hold on a second. The text has just gone through. Boog, while you're still here, and we've blown up the
Stand
clock
by,
already.
stand by.
Yeah, we definitely blew the
All right,
clock
take a
out.
look at
Please
what's
hold.
going on here. All right, hold on. All right, Boog's going to
All right,
now
hang on.
open up his phone.
Yeah.
He's going to go to his
Nope,
text.
I
He's-
don't have it.
Oh, really?
Hang
It
on.
says
Wait,
delivered.
It says delivered?
It
hang
does
on,
indeed.
Let me see. All right, hang on. Stand by. Nope, I don't have it, Cap.
All right. Well, it says delivered, but it went to my other friend Boog.
Okay,
my other-
well, tell him.
Maybe you
Just
send it to
let me
Mr.
know.
Sciambi.
I think perhaps.
Yes.
Or perhaps Mr. Sciambi doesn't know how to use the new technology. Maybe. Is that
Hey,
possible?
Hey. I feel like you're attacking a little bit right there. I know.
Yeah, I
I'm
didn't mean that.
looking
Got
right
personal.
here at
That was
my-
not right. That was not right. That got
How'd you
personal.
like my Chris Russo that I sent you?
That was. The hair was phenomenal. I thought it was a solid caricature of the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We taped that show Around the Horn, and we went through a whole A block, which is like 15 minutes, and then we had to do it over again. And I said to the producer,
Why?
I said, I don't know, because somebody screwed something up. And I'm
Who?
like, Woody Page. And then
Usually you're like, I'm not going to tell you, Kaplan. And in the meantime, today you're just on such fire that it doesn't even matter.
I have been on the road for so long that I don't care anymore. Like I'm flaming everybody.
Come on, Woody Page, do better.
And I said,
Mr. Page.
I didn't even know Woody Page was still doing that show.
he does.
Yeah.
He does. It was
Mr. Page.
Beetlejuice, actually. It was very good, actually.
Got to call him Mister.
But the Mr. Page, yes. And
Page.
so I told the producer, I'm like, bro, I don't know how much my voice can handle this. Like I can't do, I don't know if I can do this
Yeah.
for another 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Like we just wasted 15. Like what are we doing here? So
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah.
You got NBA with the Billustrator tomorrow night, right?
No, I had him last week. I was in Indy with him. It was unbelievable. It was so much fun. You know, he grew up in the neighborhood I live in now, so we had a blast talking about Southern California.
He's a great dude.
Yeah.
He's a great dude.
So good
Yeah.
too, and he actually played
Yeah,
off.
he is. He's sharp.
So I had you'll appreciate this. So in our pre-show, pregame meeting or whatever with the Boston Celtics coach Joe Mazzulla, who's kind of like a weird, kind of quirky fellow, but I like him.
think?
Yeah,
You think?
he's right.
You got those
I like
crazy
him.
eyes.
I don't know know if he's weird. I like him.
I like him. I love him. I've gotten to know him because I did the conference finals and finals on radio, so I got to know him pretty well. I enjoy him. So I asked him about, like, being the hunted versus the hunters, and he was kind of slouched over in his chair, and he, like, jumped up at me. Like, not in, like, a bad way, but it's, like, jumped up. And he's like, that's just a ridiculous notion. And I'm like, really? I'm like, well, tell me, why? And he goes, look, man, it's no different than the animal kingdom, right? Like, the lion is the king of the jungle, but you know what? If it gets caught napping, the hippo could take him out. And I'm like, and he's like, we're the Boston Celtics. We're being hunted all the time, and we're hunted championships. And I'm like, Joe, you just made my open. Thank you so much for doing that.
So good.
So I say this in the open, right? Like it was Jonesy and Billis, and they turn to me, and I say all this, and then Billis plays off, and he's like, well, maybe the Pacers will be the hippos tonight. We'll see that, George. Thanks. And so it was. Billis is amazing. It was the first time I've actually worked with him in like that setting. It was so much fun. Yeah.
I love working with him. He's smart. He's fun, and he can be that he's good to laugh at himself.
Yeah,
so that's,
yeah. I'm going to do Christmas with him too. He's on my. We're doing Christmas game together. So in Dallas.
Oh, nice.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Point of information. Yeah. That Christmas game has now been called the Hanukkah game.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
so
it's
we're
Hanukkah
all
that day. Yeah.
On the same page.
Yeah,
is it?
All right.
It is. Yeah.
It's the
Is it
Hanukkah
really?
game.
Yeah, they're on the same day. They start.
Yeah.
Hanukkah starts on Christmas. Yeah.
Right. So for me, that's the Hanukkah game.
Wow. The Festival of Lights. I get it.
Yeah.
I understand.
You feel me?
All right, Mr.
I love coming on with you guys. Two guys I've known like forever. I've known you guys forever.
Really forever. Like
Forever.
seriously.
You want to know how forever we've all known each other? Boog, I can remember your first summer of calling baseball games. I don't remember what little podunk town you were in, but I can remember. I can remember. Well, that's not such a podunk town anymore.
No, it's not.
My daughter lives there, so I can't say that. But I can remember we were at the radio station in Miami, and we were listening on the handset of the phone. You calling the game. We were on hold at the radio station.
On a coupler.
Yeah,
we were literally on hold at the radio station. We go, yeah, we just want to listen to Boog call the game because we were working the night shift at the time.
Oh, my God.
I mean, that's going back, man. We're talking like 20.
That's
no.
awesome.
Dude, we're talking like 30 years, bro.
Did you know that I was
Almost 30.
Cappy's intern?
No. What?
Yeah.
With Sid?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Oy vey. Let's not. Hey, today's election day. Let's stay away from
Well,
Sid.
let's not mention him. Yeah.
I know. What happened to Sid?
I mean,
man?
a lot. We
happened
can
to
talk
you?
about that offline.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Did you get the text yet? Did you get my text?
Yeah, seriously. You didn't get the text yet?
All right. Stand by, please. No, I don't have it.
Are you not on an iPhone?
I'm on an iPhone, and I'm in front of my computer. Just got an email from Brooks Brothers, by the way. I can't. What? I don't. It hasn't come through. Hang on one sec. Hang on. Let me.
Cappy, send me the picture, and I'll send it to him.
I sent him a video.
I was about to text Ed Kaplan.
Oh,
I
man.
love Ed
Hang on.
Kaplan.
Yeah.
He's
Love
the
Ed
best.
Kaplan.
Is he still alive?
Yes, he is.
Oh, good.
Oh, that's good.
Good. I like it. I mean, he's old. I just figured I'd have to ask.
Oh, no, I'm just responding to what Boog sent back to me.
Oh.
Which is, anyway.
Yeah.
All right. You'll call back
Yeah.
to the show. I'm sure
just
you'll
call
call
us later
back.
if you want.
I am.
All right, Mr. Sciambi.
All right.
Thanks, Mr.
Love
Sciambi.
you guys.
See you. Love you, bro.
brother.
Bye. There he is. The voice of Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN Radio in the World Series.
And we just blew up the clock, but it was worth it.
Yeah, it was fun. So, real quick, Cappy.